Today, I'll be talking about how to use quantum energy to manifest your quantum reality and everything you desire. Now, what exactly is quantum energy? It simply just means that it's infinite and unlimited. So the universe is infinite, and to harness this quantum energy so that you're able to access a particular quantum reality that already exists in the quantum field. So you could think of it like a book of unlimited pages, and each page is a possibility or a version of you. And in order to access a certain page of story that is your quantum desire or your quantum reality that you wish to access, you have to match the vibration and the frequency of that page of the book. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So, in order to access this quantum energy, you have to first detach from the 3D reality. And most people, they actually get it mixed up. They get it the other way around. And they prioritize the 3D reality because it's something that they can see. It's a hard matter, but they are unable to see the 5D quantum energy. And if you really want to hack the matrix and you want to have this cheat code in order to surpass this game, then you have to prioritize energy, right? Energy is 5D and time is the fourth dimension. And the 3D is space, right? Which is hard matter, 3D matter, space, location. In the higher ethers, 5D energy actually can translate into hard matter faster when you are in a very high vibrational space. But the reason why you have to take aligned action and show up from that quantum state or that quantum self is because while we are actually living in the 3D reality, we have to ground it in the here and the now, right? I spoke about 4D, which is time, and 3D, which is physical things, physical matter. And you have to ground it in the here and now by taking action and by making decisions in this space. But sometimes thoughts and intentions are enough to harden into matter when you are in a very high vibrational space. And you could think of it like intention. Intention could actually sometimes be a form of prayer. Now, I respect all faith and religions, and actually, prayer is a form of intention, right? And if you look at it, like some places of worship or some sacred sites in the world have very high vibrations. And just by setting the intentions there, you are actually able to translate what you want into matter really fast. And that's when you don't have to ground it with physical actions. But most of the time, because we are living in this 3D world, in a lower plane, in lower vibration because it's 3D matter, but in the ethers, in the higher plane, it's higher vibrations, and that's where thoughts happen. And from day to day, most of the time, you have to take aligned action in order to access that energy. I was actually talking about the fact that most people get caught up in the 3D and they don't look beyond into the energy world and the 5D, and that's what really moves the needle. And if you could actually be extremely loyal to the 5D and energy and be detached from the 3D, be detached from all temptations of the 3D, because the 3D reality is simply just an illusion. And if you're able to see past that and really move the needle with energy in the 5D world, then you're actually able to mold the 3D, which is just an illusion, but you're able to mold the 3D to conform to what your 5D energy is. And that's what quantum energy and quantum reality is all about. So trying to access that particular page in a book of infinite pages that you want, trying to access that quantum reality in the quantum field with infinite possibilities. but you already know exactly what you want, and that is when you decide. And that's why decisions are so important, because decisions actually carry an energy about it, and when you decide which page you want, then that's already like half the game is done. So you have to decide specifically what exactly is your quantum reality. And that is subjective, because the truth is all material things are just an illusion. And when you decide what exactly is your quantum reality, or like the highest state possible for yourself, your most prosperous timeline, then that is what it is to you. But your quantum reality could differ from my quantum reality. And it's not as simple as saying like, yeah, you want a Rolls Royce, but maybe a Rolls Royce doesn't carry as much value to someone else because that doesn't bring happiness to that person. And also, you have to look at the quantum reality as a whole. It's not just measured by wealth. Abundance, it's a very misunderstood word for wealth, but that's not actually what abundance only means, right? Yeah, sure, abundance is an umbrella that covers wealth, but in order to have true abundance, you want to have an abundance of time so that you're able to enjoy that wealth. You want to have an abundance of health and longevity so that you're able to enjoy that wealth. And also that's why wealthy people, they are so obsessed with biohacking and finding all kinds of ways to extend their longevity, because they want to enjoy their wealth. So just by having a big sum of money, but for example, without any other compliments, that's not necessarily the quantum reality that you might be seeking, right? So my point here is that everyone's quantum reality is different, and you have to know specifically what you want, because end of the day, material things are just Veblen goods, right? Like for example, here I have a Chanel lip gloss. Maybe it's like $50 US, and sure, it's functional, and you know, it gives color to my lips, but why do we actually, all matter have no meaning, but we attach a meaning to it because they have done really good marketing for themselves, and that's why they're able to charge premium prices for higher brand equity. And my point is that different things will have different value to everyone. This might have high value to me, maybe because I appreciate the brand, not just the color itself, or not just like the quality of this product, but maybe I just feel good like using something that comes from Chanel, for example, right? And maybe to someone else, like a guy, maybe this doesn't mean anything. So I hope that proves my point. Like, you can use this as a metaphor for like many things, right? Like the Rolls Royce car, the mansion, the city, the country, the town that you want to move to, right? And you know, like there's also a saying that says like one man's hell is another man's heaven, right? So for example, like I was born in Singapore, and while it's an amazing country, like really clean, and it has such a high GDP per capita, probably the richest country in Asia. I'm very proud to be a Singaporean here, but just subjective to me, like I just wanted to move to the West because I felt that I could expand my mindset. People in the West often ask me, like, why do I move from Singapore to North America or Europe? And then again, maybe that is my quantum reality. Maybe living Europe is my quantum reality. Maybe living North America is my quantum reality, right? And then maybe to that specific person who asked me, why did I move from Singapore? Like, he or she wishes that they could move to Singapore, right? So maybe Singapore is a quantum reality for them. So not to say that any country is better or worse off than another, but I'm just saying that different realities have different meaning and value to different people. So you have to decide what is your quantum reality first. And you have to be very specific about it. And you have to always remember that things, they only carry a meaning because we attach a certain meaning to them, right? Just like this brand equity here. But in it of itself, it's just matter, and it's just an illusion. Like, do you know that an atom actually carries like 99.9999% energy? So everything around us is actually made up of energy. And in order to attract something, you have to match your energy, your state, and your frequency to that. That's how you attract it, because it's made up of energy, and like attracts like. And that's why it's so important to audit your environment and the people around you, because it's actually made up of energy. And when you hang out around certain types of people, you actually absorb their assumptions. And that's why it's so important for you to be very ruthless about it, to really upgrade your network so that you're always able to absorb their perspective and assumptions. Because end of the day, manifestation is assumption and perspective, emotions and actions, align actions, that gives you the manifestation. So that's why I place a lot of emphasis on the people around you, because you might have certain friends that are happy to set up base camp in the middle of the mountain, but maybe say your quantum reality is at the peak of the mountain, right? And they will try to actually drag you to say like, hey, like join them to set up the base camp, because they just want to settle to be where they are at, and they may not have the same desires or the same ambitions that you want. And that's why you have to be really ruthless about it, to audit your friends and the people around you so that they don't drag you down into their base camp. And you want people at the peak of the mountain so that you're able to absorb their assumptions and perspective to bring you up to the quantum reality that you want. And that's my point, that people and environment, they all carry energy. They carry energy, they carry assumptions, they carry thoughts, they carry emotions as well. So thoughts, emotions, decisions, actions, and even words that you speak, they all have energy. And so I hope that you'll be more aware of the energy world and how you could actually use it to manifest what you want. And I have just launched a quantum cheat code course, which I have refined, learning everything what I've learned for the past 10 years on manifesting and energy. And you can find it in the link down below. And if you want to work one-on-one with me, link is down below as well. I am so excited, and I would love to support you in your journey of reaching your quantum reality and manifesting it.